Okay, in this episode we're going to go over pistol caliber carbines for the bug out bag. It's going to be the Ruger PC backpacker stock series rifle versus SBR pistol caliber carbine. Pros, cons. Big things are perception, depending on where you're going to be, if you're rural or if you're in the city. Big part of bugging out is you want to, if you do have to run into people, is try to blend in and not engage or get in contact unless absolutely necessary. The main focus is getting to your location, your retreat, nothing else. So some of the things you can do in addition to some of the, besides having your bug out bag and all that, is blending in, or the gray man, as you know, they say, it really depends on your area. I'm rural. So what works for me probably will not work for you, but one of the things I tend to do often is kind of the way you dress. Right now I'm wearing hunting camo. This normally would be in my bug out bag, but it blends in with the natural surrounding pretty good. If I run into town and I'm wearing hunting camo, nobody's going to second guess me. They're just going to think I'm one of the other typical hunters in the area. If I'm in town, getting gas, getting some groceries, and I wear this coat, it's not a big deal. When I'm not wearing this coat, most of the time, I'm wearing jeans, cowboy boots, and whatever, a flannel or something. That's typical, my typical wear. If I know I have to cross through a city and rural at the same time, good choice is a flannel of some sort or fleece, like a dark plaid. I'm going to get a little closer. A dark plaid like this. Even though this has got tints of red and things like that, it actually blends in pretty good. I've got a wool t-shirt, wool base layer underneath, wool blend fleece on top, and then pants. You could do jeans for bugging out, but a good alternative is a synthetic like 511 or Blackhawk, such as these pants, and then a good pair of hiking boots. If I wear this into town right now, everything's pretty much well worn. It doesn't look brand new. People are going to just see somebody that has that REI, look or whatever like that. Another good thing to do is a hat. This is a camouflage hat, yes, but it's got a local feed store on it. So if I'm in town or I have to cross through town and somebody sees this hat, they're going to be like, oh, that's blah blah store down the road. They're going to recognize it and be like, oh, this guy's local. No big deal. Whip-de-doo. But if I'm wearing some random, brand that just is nothing near my area, but it's like from another town, another state, or something like that, people might second guess it. So that's one thing to consider. Just some little extra advice for the bug out bag and bug out itself. Is you want to blend in. But also, you want to blend in with your surroundings, but also if you have to make contact with people, you don't want to look too out of place. If you're wearing multi-cam, plate carry and everything head to toe, and I go into my town, I'm going to stand out like a sore thumb. They're either going to think you're military, something, it's going to draw, people are just going to notice you right away. But if you wear like some hunting camo, plaids, just regular farm ranch type wear, you'll blend in pretty good. Case in point. When I go to work though, I usually wear slim fit, skinny type pants for work. Complete different environment. I'm in the city. I will blend in out there. And slim fitting clothes and no hat. I guess a cleaner cut look, but I blend in that city environment. But if I wore that same skinny pants, whatever, in my town, people would think I'm an outsider and I would stand out like a sore thumb. Unless I'm like 15 or 16 years old, but you go to the city, adults wear that skinny jeans and stuff like that, and they blend in fine. You go to the country and you're an adult and you try to dress like that, you're going to stand out. It's in my town at least. So you got to kind of dress according to where you're going to be. If you do the REI look such as this, you kind of blend in a little bit everywhere. I mean, there's always that style, just, cargo pants, a flannel, fleece, and a local hat. Blends in good everywhere. The reason I want to do this is a lot of people are looking, like I said, you do not want to engage with anything with your when you're trying to bug out, but defense is a big criteria that you must focus on. You should have your concealed carry handgun, but sometimes that may not be enough, or you're traveling with family and you want to transition and give your wife a handgun or possibly a pistol caliber carbine. My wife can shoot a pistol caliber carbine very well. We have the Ruger PC9 carbine because she has a Ruger 1022, and a transition from a 1022 to the PC caliber carbine, it's almost like there's no transition. I mean, the operation is so similar, but at the same time, a 9mm round is a little bit more weight to it versus the 22 caliber and a little more stopping power. And you can also suppress it. My pistol caliber carbine, the Ruger, I did add a tri-lug adapter on the threaded barrel. But yeah, there's a lot of pros and cons of the two. Short-barreled rifles, there's a lot of restrictions on traveling state to state. So if you're on a border state and say you got to cross the border to get to your bug out location, you may want to consider, just a regular pistol caliber carbine in a rifle configuration, or a pistol configuration with like a brace versus a short-barreled rifle configuration. Even though the SS hits a fan, there's still local laws. You should be traveling within those first 3 days when things are technically still normal, but they're not normal. So what that means is law enforcement still thinks things are, for the most part, most of them are still going to believe that things are normal. In a couple days, they'll be back at their, back home, things will be normal, and they're not going to see things, and they may question, if you're running around with looking like Hans Gruber on the Nakatomi Towers, running around with an MP5 or something like that. Ideally, if you have a pistol caliber carbine or a short-barreled rifle carbine, you should only take it out like last resort, because I mean it's going to draw attention to you. You should have a pistol on you always. And the good advantage of that Ruger, though, is if you have a Glock pistol such as the G19, the magazine compatibility is there. If you have an MP5, there's no handgun versus like a SP89 or something like, there's no small compact handgun where there's a magazine compatibility. Ammunition compatibility, yes, but not the magazines themselves. Where the PC9 Ruger, it uses Glock magazines from 15 round, I want to say, all the way up to, it probably uses even the 10 rounders. I haven't tried it yet, but it uses up to like 33 rounders. So, and I think you can get a 50 round PMag drum for it too. So we're going to go over a few different things, but like I said, the big focus is blending in, but having it and hopefully not needing it, but better than needing it and not having it. So that's what we're going to go over. Hopefully this is helpful. Okay, this episode we're going to be going over the pistol caliber carbines, rifle configurations versus short-barreled rifle. Two examples I have to show today are the Ruger PC9 carbine in the Magpul backpacker stock, and the other is a MP5K clone that's been short-barrel rifle registered, and going to go over the pros and cons of both. I mentioned in a different segment about how one of the things you may want to consider for bugging out, because your sole purpose in bugging out is to get to your location. But as we know, in this uncertain world, you may need some extra security and defense. So you may want to, in addition to carrying your concealed carry weapon, pistol, you may want to carry a pistol caliber carbine. One thing to consider though, depending on your state, short barrel rifles may not be allowed. In my state they are. Pretty much any NFA item is allowed in my state. But on the same note, say you're right on the border and your bug out location is across state lines, you may want to think about doing a short-barreled rifle versus a pistol configuration with a brace, or just a collapsible rifle version like the Ruger. One of the reasons is different states, there's different rules for crossing state lines. You may run into police officers, since you're going to be traveling within the first 3 days, and more than likely people aren't going to have it set in that, you know, this is the SHTF or the apocalypse, whatever, and they're still going to be thinking laws and the rule of law, and they may question you if they see you running around town with an MP5 or some other kind of short-barreled rifle. So that's one thing to consider. Pistol caliber carbines with a brace in a pistol configuration, it's still considered a pistol. You can, you know, do it cross state lines legally as your states allow. I know in my state, you know, to cross state lines you can. It's just, you just need to look into your laws, so keep that in mind. When you do short-barreled rifles or any NFA items, it kind of, you have to be more aware of the laws. So just keep that in mind. But the things you can't dispute though are size. I've got a Camelback BFM pack. They're one of their biggest packs. But as you can see in here, I've got this top compartment right here, and it's roughly, I'm going to say 16 inches long. In this top compartment though, easily I can fit MP5K with the stock folding. You know, that fits right into there. You can see that size difference. It's hard to dispute that. So now the next thing is the Ruger pistol caliber carbine in the Magpul backpacker stock. It fits in the main compartment of this very good, and that is roughly about 22 inches. So a little bit longer than the other version, but the short-barreled rifle, but you know, you've got that. So it is bigger. Okay, I'm going to go over some of the functionalities of the Ruger PC carbine and the Magpul backpacker stock. As you can see, I measured my pack, said roughly about 22 inches. If you measure just the carbine itself, you're just under 20 and a half inches. That's actually still pretty decent size. I will show the size comparison to the SBR here. There you can see the size comparison between the two. So the SBR is roughly just slightly, it's 22 and a half. So, you know, you've got from 20 and a half to 22 and a half, 2 extra inches, you know. Okay, but some of the features on this, as you can see, I did add a tri-lug adapter. So I could use any tri-lug suppressor, 9mm. I did add a red dot sight. It is pretty helpful. The advantages, besides, there's kind of a lot of them, but this configuration is a little bit longer barrel, longer sight radius. It's easier to aim in its rifle configuration, easier for a lot of people to handle, more accurate in my mind. When I'm down at range, you know, at 50 yards, I hit every shot with this. With the little K model, I think I missed a couple. So that's it. You know, your sight radius on the other one's very short, where this one you've got longer sight radius. Plus I had the red dot, which in general, red dots are just more accurate. They're just easier to aim. You don't have to line anything up. You just aim the dot and fire. Though you can add a red dot to the MP5 clone. You've also got some M-lock rails here, so you could add a flashlight and some different things. But all in all, though, it's a very simple, very small, compact way to carry a full-size weapon. And one of the things that's on here that's pretty neat is this cheek piece. It's hinged. It does come with another that's higher, but this one, you've got a magazine storage in here. So, and like I was saying, you could fit, this one is a 15 rounder, but you could fit up to, I want to say a 17 rounder would fit into here. So, and then I did add some QD sling swivels to put a sling onto this. I can get them back in. These were the actual kits I got from Amazon. They're pretty inexpensive, but the advantage of this is that it is not as, I guess, evil black rifle looking. It's compact, everything's held together, and you have the compatibility of Glock magazines. So like I said, there's a 15 rounder in there. You can fit a 17 rounder in there. If you're carrying a Glock pistol, you have magazine compatibility. There's also all kinds of Glock magazines on the market, and they will fit, such as this, I want to say it's a 30 rounder KCI. So it says 33 rounder, so, but this will fit into there. Like I said, it assembles very easy. Goes into there. Magazines fit, you know. So it's a very good rifle for the bug out situations. Okay, one of the most important things though in bugging out is weight. So even though this is a compact size, you know, versus this finished size, I'm going to show you the difference in weight. Some people might be surprised, but, and as you know, these are all empty. They've been cleared already well ahead of time. Okay, so this little thing is 5 pounds. And just over 6 pounds. So this is a pound heavier, but you do get a lot more, I want to say, accuracy. It blends in a little bit more in town. Price, hands down, this is about half the price of that. In addition to the cost of the weapon itself, there's a $200 tax, a one-time tax. So you have that, plus you know, say you buy it in a pistol configuration originally, then you got to buy the stock. HK stuff, not cheap. Just the stock is probably $200 something. This is probably $50. I mean, just you have HK or clones and just add dollar signs to everything, or double the price of normal stuff. $100 magazines versus $30 magazines. So just roughly about, you know, I'm not. Magazines can vary between cheap Korean magazines from like, or Pakistani from like $30 to $100, you know, for, you know, HK German made. But these are the 15 rounders. You can get 33 round. The HK's got its pluses, but besides the price, you've got availability. These are harder to find. These are, I want to say, right around $600 street price for this. And you can get this Magpul stock configuration directly from Ruger. Mine, I purchased a different version and I converted it. I posted a video to that. It was kind of a pain in the butt to convert it. Any of those who have watched that video, the missing screw on the bottom, believe it or not, exactly the same size as the screw and bolt that is on a 1022 Ruger. So if you have spare ones of those to hold the action into the stock, it fit perfectly, same length, same everything. So I did do that. Ruger never got back to me. responded to them multiple times, letting them know that the kit is missing that part, and their customer service just has not responded. So not sure what's going on with that, but their customer service was pretty good, and then it just stopped. So I don't know. It's kind of a little upset about that, but granted, if you buy the configured backpacker stock version directly from them, you won't need anything. So like I said, I did add, like I said, the 3-lug, which does not really add any weight. This is probably the difference, maybe. That's why it's slightly over a pound, but you're only gaining a pound versus this. So I mean, it's in the size difference. But another thing is, this is an antiquated PC carbine right here. I mean, a lot of people are going to be like, whoa, you know, it is. I mean, it's a stamped steel receiver. It's welded. I mean, it's just, so there are other PC caliber carbines that you could short barrel rifle that probably are much lighter than this. I know there's SIG makes one. There's a couple different ones that are out there that are similar, but probably much lighter and easier to find parts and cheaper. So that's something to keep in mind if you want to do the SBR route. Regardless which way you go, if your state allows it, I would definitely suppress it. Your purpose is to kind of bug out and evade. You know, you don't want to have detection, but say you need to engage in anything, it is better to have a suppressed weapon. I was using subsonic 9mm rounds. I don't know if you could tell from the video, but from shooting the two, this was much more quiet to me to shoot versus this. It could have just been, since the can was further out, it could have just, you know, I don't have any way to test it besides my my ear, which is not very accurate. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful. Like I said, the main focus on bugging out is to not engage anybody and hopefully not need any of this. But if you're prepared or prepared-minded, you do know that it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So it's always good to have, you know, plan A, B, and C. And like I said, my wife can shoot either one of these pretty good. Likes both, but if anybody in your family has a Ruger 1022, the operation of this is very, 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 very similar. So it's second nature to somebody who's used a 1022. Where this, changing magazines, and you know, unless you've used them in the military or police, whatever, it's going to be very foreign, the operation of it. You know, unless you watch a lot of movies with the HK slap to knock the bolt home. But the K model like this does not hold the bolt open on the last round. This does. So this, you know, there's a lot of pluses and minuses to both different versions, but ideally though, you do need to decide what works best. Maybe none at all, or maybe think out of the box. Maybe you're a lever action person. They do make lever action trapper guns that come in half just like this. They come in half and just mount together. There's a lot of single shot survival guns that, you know, come apart like that, and you can store them in your backpack. But it also depends on your pack size. A lot of these pistol caliber carbine, people are buying these specific bags made specifically for it. But as you can see in the sizes, very many bug out bags do come in sizes that will fit this. You don't need to buy something special. So you might want to measure your bag, kind of measure what will fit in there. For some reason, say you do get a pistol version like this, without the grip on the front, obviously, but you just have the pistol version of this. Maybe you don't want to do a brace, but you still want to have that in there. Just go old school. Put a single loop sling on it, and you know, in the old school days, you would just have the sling on here, a single point sling, and then have this and push forward on it, and you could actually aim pretty good. And you could save even some weight doing that. So that's another option. But are you gaining much over just a regular handgun if you go that scenario? I don't know. It's up to you. I mean, some people, you know, it's some things to consider. I'm kind of curious to see what other people are doing for pistol caliber carbines, or even rifle caliber carbines for the bug out bag. But hopefully this was helpful. I'm doing this also because I was sick the last few days, had stomach flu's been going around this area, so hopefully not in your area. So I've been wanting to do some videos, trying to get the strength back, but hopefully this was helpful. And until next time. And this time of the year, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and thanks.